pouring a lot more soon, so get ready for this. I don't actually know all too much about this track as it is one of my Achilles heels in sim racing, but I got someone with me who is a lot more versed in what's happening here, where is what, and what you're gonna see, how you're gonna see stuff. So, yeah, Biggles.
Yes, sir. Welcome. How do you not know Silverstone, the birthplace, United Kingdom of Formula One, mate? All the old blokes, the lads back in the day, the lords, got their fancy cars there, revved them up, drove them around a track, and said, "Hey, you know what? I think we should do this for a living, and maybe travel around the world."
Yeah, I also don't really know a lot about the hospital where I was born, so that's fine, I guess.
I
I
thought you
mean,
were
it
born
is.
in like a cylinder four of a motor racing car because you have motor racing talent, my friend.
I do, but I have never actually raced at Silverstone myself. So yeah, I
So,
do hear
yeah.
myself looped back and doubled. That's new and
What
kind
do
of
you mean? What do you
unpleasant.
mean? What do you mean? We can hear one Ferral.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
no, no, no. I can hear you, but I hear you twice.
twice. It's because I'm echoing. I don't know why. But we're racing
Okay, we can
statistics. We'll
power
sort that
through
out, of
that.
course. Our producer, and welcome back again, of course, here in racing statistics. I'm just trying to get my statistics ready for my race notes in my little black book of all the casting I've done of tracks around the world. And Silverstone, of course, is one that is a classic. How about the old Mackett's Chapel, mate? The Loop, Wellington Straight, Hanger Straight. The old world. This is a World War II airfield converted into a fantastic racing track, and get pitch a tent camp around this track this weekend, as many of the fans will be.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I can absolutely understand how you're a fan of this track. It's always great to see racing here, but apart from the expertise I have with other tracks where I have at least done some pretty good sim racing or even drove cars there myself, this is, yeah, well, just not one of my strong tracks. It's always exciting to watch it. It is a great layout. It makes for good racing. As long as drivers don't collide, as we have unfortunately seen last year quite heavily. But apart from that, it's just great seeing people race here, but I don't like to open my mouth and say things when I'm not absolutely certain of it or have it experienced myself. So
You are the tech guy, but I tell you what, tech guys still mean tech guys. It applies across the field, regardless of the track. You still know your Formula One knowledge, as well as everybody in racing statistics know their Formula One knowledge, man. How many times have they rescued us in the situations of all the information and details of every little nitty gritty that carries on into the garage and outside the garage or whatever? Well, it is what it is, isn't it? Historical moments will be etched in our memories, as we're hoping tonight's practice session will provide some more. A total of 12 British drivers have won here in the past. Can you name one more? I'm not quite sure you can. Maybe everybody in the Twitch world can. Being a World War II airfield and a smart one these days, is built on a plateau of a course of its runways as we go around the outside of what used to be the perimeter track. The first ever Formula One race was here in what year? 1950. Gotta tell me that one. But it's always been a super fast track, and it's no different today than it has been in the past. Well, this place is all about the past, but the future is now here and the present as well. Tire compounds is something interesting. Weather, of course. Well, United Kingdom, anything can happen and could happen. Welcome along, practice session.
yeah, I wonder if that rain from the pre-race warm-up has lasted. It looks in the tire animation that there is a little bit, and we are running the compounds C3 through to C1. So rather hard tires they brought here, or rather the hardest tires they could bring. Yeah, we got about 17 degrees currently, 26 degrees track temperature, so not all too warm, which doesn't really matter, as I think, as it looks now, they will go out on the inters for the beginning.
History, a little bit of history of this track, a little bit of dark history as well too. That I did a little bit of research. Of course, I'm Australian. I've never been to Silverstone. I'll tell you what, it was like one of these tracks, first used for motorsport, and an ad hoc group of friends that set it up for an improvial race back in September 1947. One of the members, Maurice, lived in a nearby Silverstone village and was well aware the airfield was deserted. So him and a couple of mates, about 11 or so of them, decided we'll race over a 2-mile circuit, during the course of which Maurice himself ran over a sheep that had wandered onto the airfield. The sheep was killed and the car was written off. And the aftermath in this event turned into the formal race known as the Mutton Grand Prix. Did you know it used to be called the Mutton Grand Prix?
Actually, no, didn't really know that. Can't
The poor
say.
sheep. It's not Gary that
Yeah.
obviously Gary. We missed Gary from last week, but
Yeah,
a couple of weeks.
I hope the teams remember to pack Gary and bring him along to Silverstone, or at least that
We
we
have
are
a new one.
getting
We have a new one, guys. So we had obviously Gary the Hedgehog in Canada. What are we going to call?
groundhog, my friend. He was a
What are we going to call our
groundhog.
poor little sheepy? The sheepy
Yeah.
that was a part of the historical makings of this track. Either way, the sheep. The sheep passed away, but the memories of the Silverstone and the British GP now lives on in the memories of the sheep. So, guys out there, let's name the sheep. Let's see how our sheep. Wouldn't it be ironic, wouldn't it, if a sheep actually did jump across the track during some
Yeah,
sort
I
of
think
session?
they have taken precaution for that. If we see something, it would be more related to wildlife. But
Or a crazy British fan that happened many, many years ago, wasn't it?
yeah,
That's-
back in the day where catching fences
Mark
weren't
Webber
as
almost ran over that
catching.
crazy guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys have it, because that's what this is now becoming a little bit of a historical, well, a tradition at Racing Statistics, where we now have animals that we name in each of the tracks. Now we're going to have a sheep in this one.
Absolutely. As
And
long as there is an animal going out on track, we're gonna name it. And we know our chat is absolutely creative enough to get great names for those animals out. But yeah, for now, more important, we are green, but it doesn't really look like anybody is going out just yet.
they're shy, mate. They're shy.
Yeah.
I mean, I always think it's very. Who, once again, in the esports that I cast a lot for, I admire the first person to go out on the track for the first time ever. Remember, on a racing weekend, track is green. They've had all the other events that have occurred before, but they've never been on track in a Formula One car, at least for a year. So you got to get out there, get a little bit of exposure. This is the perfect time right now for the advertisers to cash in. So get your car
Yeah.
out there.
We got Nash in the chat with Sean the Sheep, which I quite like, but there is already this show called Sean the Sheep.
All right, yeah, come on, guys,
So
be a little bit more creative than that. I don't
yeah,
want to see. Yep, come on. I know you guys are full of talent out there. I mean, compared to all the Gary the groundhog remarks and stuff like that we had last time. Yeah, I know. Come on, guys, you got to think outside
yeah.
the box a
So
little bit more.
also we are seeing cars on track. Meanwhile, we have the Mercedes and the Ferraris. While I think we definitely need to have an eye out for the Mercedes cars here, not only because it is their home race and they will be given everything to bring the greatest performance they can, but also they are one of the 4 teams, apart from Williams, Haas, and Alpine, that has brought along major upgrade packages here.
Can you explain? I didn't even read that one. In the memo I got on the flight over here, can you explain that to everybody? What are the packages upgrades?
Well, that is always very cryptic. I haven't had myself a read into what upgrades specifically they brought. I will do that before free practice too. For now, I just want to see how this basically impacts their times, how they're doing, while it doesn't look too good as Russell and Hamilton didn't even get their banker laps in. They went straight back into the pits, and now it's only the Ferrari cars out on track.
It's interesting they do that, and actually, believe it or not, in the esports world of Formula One racing, everybody traditionally goes out into this, even if it's a dry race, and put some tires in just to lay the rubber down and go back in. But in the real world of F1, of course, time is money, money is time, and energy. In this case, they just come back in. I guess really the setup, it's green track. They just don't know what to do.
Absolutely. We also have a good question of Eugene. Is this a sprint race weekend like last year? Biggles, you want to
No.
fill us in here?
Absolutely not. Unfortunately, I did ask that earlier. I didn't even know myself, and I had to ask some of the regular gladiators that I hang out with that love to talk and chat about F1. No, it's not. Unfortunately, they tried. That was the first time, believe it or not, last year, wasn't it? They tried the sprint out, or was it year
Yeah, I think
before?
so.
Can't remember specifically which year it was, but I do believe this was the first time they ever tried the sprint out. Must have been the year before, if I'm not mistaken, 2019 perhaps. But yeah, unfortunately, not this weekend. Well, whether you like it or not, it's not going to happen. It's going to be the regular free practice sessions, and you're qualifying, and then your race on the Sundays.
Absolutely, but when we look at the live footage, it looks like it is raining hard out there. Not too much, just this
Do you
typical
bring
British
that British
rain.
weather with you, my friend?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it is raining here too at about 11 degrees centigrade, but that's Switzerland, so
Mm.
that's not really
I'm surprised it's so
impacting the race.
cold, isn't it? Like, isn't European you guys? If you are in Europe, aren't you guys going through a heat wave right now?
Not anymore. That is over since pretty much today, but we had our fair share of 36 centigrade weather here.
Oh, that's like a Australian winter. Easy.
Yeah, I know. Thing is, Switzerland just isn't built for these temperatures. We're built for winter. Our houses are concepted to keep the heat in.
Speaking of which, my friend Ferral is in the casting box with me. G'day, g'day again, mate. Glad to be here with you. Now, I know we had spoken personally off stream that you are just down the road from, guess what? The team that won the first ever British GP. What team would that be?
I know what factory it is, so I won't tell.
That's one for the chat. That's one for the chat. Come on, guys. Racing statistics. You guys are the ones that do all the number crunching. We know that you guys have all the numbers. We know you have all the knowledge. Are you quicker than Wikipedia? Honestly, you are
Yeah,
quicker.
well,
I can ask a question here, and it's quick. They answer it quicker than you can find on Wikipedia.
absolutely. That's what we have our chat for. But we have also
Oh,
been asked why we don't speak about the timings.
we
Well,
don't. Yeah.
it's just Leclerc out there on track doing 1 minute 44.7, which is not very impressive. Getting his laps in. Everybody else still sits in the pits. We have had Russell, Hamilton,
Oh,
and Sainz doing a quick show up on the track, going from pit lane to pit lane. So
to pit lane, to pit lane. How many pit lanes are there? Yeah. By the way, you stole it away from me, Michael K. Happy birthday, Daniel Ricciardo. I was about to say, guess whose birthday it is on the grid today? It was Daniel Ricciardo's birthday, and another driver out, another gladiator out there. Sorry, not drivers. Nashi the second at Alfa Romeo. You got that one as well. Damn, these guys are
absolutely.
sharp. Happy birthday, Honey Badger. Oi, oi, oi for the Aussies.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get myself a shoey later. Definitely.
You drink from, yeah, you can drink from my shoe, mate. You get me drinking from your shoe.
We can do that.
By the way,
You
there's
want-
another one out there for you guys. Who first started drinking from the shoe in motorsports? Damn, I'm going to throw questions left, right, and center at everybody here in racing.
Absolutely. Also, what I have never thought about And Bomba Willie, yes, it is raining at the moment. We also see Perez and Ocon now out on the track, but only time will tell if they will stay out or if they go straight back into the pit lane.
Yeah, the shoey thing I was surprised about. Obviously, Dan Rick done it, but Dan Rick wasn't the first. So you guys have to do a little bit of homework on that one. We're not talking about F1 specifically. We're talking about motor racing specifically. You can quote back to whatever you need to quote back. You can probably go back to the 40s if you want. I don't think it ever occurred back in the 1940s. Did they even wear shoes? They barely even wore helmets, didn't they, in the early days of racing around here in Silverstone? The birthplace of motor racing, guys. It's been around the block a few times. At the moment, just to get you an update, it is wet. A few drivers are out on track. Sergio Perez is on team radio. A couple of drivers are in and out on seats. So there are probably no competitive times here in free practice. One, well, they're kind of sorting out, welcome to England. It's rain.
Yeah, unfortunately, we won't see anything from Red Bull yet, as Perez went straight back into the pits as well. We see Ocon now charging up there, and back into the pits he goes. Yeah,
Good question. Are they? No, they're on Inter. I believe there's a few of the drivers. I think Sergio Perez and the Red Bulls on Inters. Are we showing that in the graphics here for racing statistics or not on the channel here? No? Yeah.
all I know is that Leclerc has been doing a lot of laps out just on Inters, and Alonso is currently out on Inters. So it really is raining, but only like this typical British drizzle that is
Yeah.
more like fog than real rain. As we see a lot
Spice Girls with Christian Horner's wife a bit. It's raining, man. Hallelujah. No, it's not. But I'll tell you what, if you look at those standings right now, guys, look at that. Perez, and looks like a bit of the elder Red Bull blue, doesn't it, in there? Look at that points there. 175 Verstappen leading the championship from Perez, his teammate, 129. And then you have Leclerc with those bad little performances recently from the Ferrari, with just slipping behind in third place there. Look at George Russell. Is that a bit of a surprise or not in the championship standings running in P4?
I think it is surprising if you watch the overall Mercedes performance until now, but on the other hand, if you have watched the races, it is pretty much what you expected, as they weren't really performing very well, but they always had a very on-point strategy. And if there was any points up for grabs, any scraps to pick up, Mercedes was there and Mercedes picked them up. They were just always there.
So that's a question out there in the chat, mate. Is Lewis, who was the number one driver now in the Merc team? Is there a number one driver?
That is very hard.
Could Lewis be the number two driver? Do you think that would even happen?
I just quickly wanna get in that we have Albon, Tsunoda, and Vettel out on track meanwhile, so the teams are getting warmed up and it stopped raining. So, is there a number one driver or a number two driver? I think as soon as Hamilton is back up to speed, he will be the number one driver, and Russell will be his rear gunner for a while, but not forever.
Yeah. All right, guys, apologies. The stats will be ready in a second. Sorry to cut you off there. Yeah, we're working on that. Go ahead.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing, more or less, here with Hamilton is that he has been set up to do basically all the experiments on the car, running it very low or specifically high, or getting new setups in there, or trying a new rear wing. It has always been him, and those things never worked out. So even if Hamilton was a declared number one driver, you can't push him in front of Russell if he's just slower than him.
This kind of reminds me of the scenario back in the the McLaren days, isn't it? When you had Mr. Alonso and Lewis Hamilton go side by side, wheel to wheel. At some point, somebody has to yield, somebody doesn't. They don't. You generally have that kind of battle, isn't it? Like you can't have two number one drivers in a team. somebody has to yield. I'll tell you what, George Russell's not going to want to be number one driver, number two driver, and definitely Lewis Hamilton's not going to be a number two driver. So Mercedes are at that situation where they're going to have to go, we have to give both of these guys. And then again, Mercedes are probably more worried about those issues at the start of the season. But once again, as you guys all a lot of people shut down Mercedes at the start, going, Mercedes are washed, Mercedes are done. No, they're not. They're definitely not, because they're running third in the championship at the moment with all the problems that they had. That's still not too bad to have, way ahead of McLaren, that a lot of people thought would be doing better. So, yeah, long season. Still have lots of racing to go.
Yeah, the session up until now is kind of disappointing. I see a lot of questions in chat about what are the times, and there just aren't times. It's Leclerc making a 1:43.8, and that's it. Nobody else has done a full lap yet. But it looks like we're going to see some, as Tsunoda just banked in a 1:51. Vettel went past the pits, so if he gets a full lap in now, we get a third time.
Carl, out there, guys, bear with us with all the glitches and stuff like that. We'll get it all sorted out. Don't worry about that. Thank you very much. If the audio is good or bad. We're going back to the early times. I said it was Alfa Romeo that won the first ever British GP, depending on what year you want to count that one on. I'm reading what Carl said. This is the same as 1967. Brabham tried all the new parts, and Lumi became the world champion on consistency. Man, I'll tell you what, these guys out here in racing statistics, they know Formula One.
Ooh, Jose Martinez tells us the audio seems to be glitchy. I don't know about that, but I can...
Yeah, because I'm pushing the button? No, what was that? G'day, Supermax. That Super Minister of Defence there. G'day, mate, from Sydney. How's Sydney? What time is it, actually, for you in Australia, mate? I'm not in Australia at the moment, but I'd imagine it's probably not as bad as I am, 7 a.m. in the morning. It is not glitchy. It keeps cutting in and out. WTF. Wait. Got you covered on that one. Hamilton. What's going on at the moment? We are just talking a little bit of trash at the moment because there's not a lot of action on track because it's wet and some of the people, drivers, are not deciding to do much to go out. But we do have Gasly out. No, we don't have Gasly. We have Daniel Ricciardo, Lance Stroll. Vettel's on a flying lap right now.
I am. I mean, it is kind of interesting. We have had 13 drivers out on the track so far, and yet it is still Hamilton having all the fastest sectors from his one-time show out.
Excuse me, did you just say Hamilton? It's called Sir Hamilton. He has a straight named after him in Silverstone. As Vettel's going to cross the line right now. Let's see what the three-time world champion. He loves Silverstone. I'll tell you what, this man has won around Silverstone quite a few times. Out there for you guys, another little bit of trivia. Who has won the most amount of Silverstone races as a Formula One driver?
In the meantime, while we get the answers in, we have another quick questions from the chat, which I do gladly answer, which says we should name a famous Jose. And I have to say, my absolute favorite Jose is Jose Martinez, who is in chat right now. That is best Jose you will ever find.
Very interesting question. Absolutely. Guys, still a few cars out on track. Well, we are getting the timing sorted out for you, so just bear with us. If you can bear with our voices there, Ferral and I don't bite. Ferral does bite sometimes, but if you...
Only if you ask me to.
If you're kind to him, he may take you around the Alfa Romeo garage someday because he's just down the road, mate. Any information about that in the future here?
Not really. I asked if it would be okay if I go and check out the factory. Maybe do a little internship there. as soon as my back is back on track. That was a terrible
Oh,
joke.
puns.
I'm gonna show myself out. I'm very sorry. Biggles, you're
No,
alone.
don't drop the microphone, mate. Lift it up. That's great. You're back to
No, no, no.
back to
It's
back to back. I love it.
exactly. Now, actually, I did ask them if I can do a chip and get my camera with me so we can create some off-race content from the Formula One
Oh, I
garage
want to see it, mate. You shove
for
that
the
camera
channel.
right in all the juicy parts of the car that you're not allowed to show, and then just share that with
Absolutely.
us.
I will just mount a GoPro on the engine so we can see all the things happening there.
You know when all the engineers stand in front of the cars on the grid walk and stuff like that because they don't want to show off
Yeah,
all the no, mate, you just slam the GoPro in there and just show it to us live on Racing Statistics, of course. And then you'll actually have all the other engineering teams watching this channel to try to get what the secret information they have. Practice 1 at the moment. It's wet. Not a lot of drivers on track putting competitive laps in. There's a few out there, but it's drying up, mate. I don't see as much spray as it looks like one of the Red Bulls.
Yeah, there are some wet parts on the track still, as we still see a lot of inters, but everything there, the end of sector 3, beginning of sector 1 looks very dry. So
I think that was Supermax coming back in, and there's a guy right there holding a sign up that says pit box right there. Like Max is like, really? I didn't know where my pit box was. Then again, we have seen before, haven't drivers completely. Wasn't it Lewis Hamilton that skipped
yeah,
he drove through his pit box on an X team?
yeah, no, he didn't drive through it, luckily. I think that was after his change to what now
Ask
is
the audience, ask
Mercedes.
these racing statistic fans out there, mate. They know. I want to see how long it takes
Absolutely.
them to guess that one.
All I know is that he went into the box of his former team, but luckily his current team was just the box ahead, so he could just drive through there.
Yeah, I'm waiting at the moment, guys. You're getting a bit slow. I thought you would have had this already. What was the year? What was the time when Lewis Hamilton changed teams and he drove accidentally into the pit box? It was actually a very good pit box. So the guys would go, and they cleared him pretty quickly so he can go through that. And then the pit box was the next one. Anyway, guess what? The king is back, mate. The king is back.
Always good to see the king back, as he usually is the one giving us money to tell you guys in chat with his own message to like the stream, to subscribe to the channel, as we will bring you all the sessions from all the Formula One at all the races all over the world. The only thing, and we're also working on some, well, improvements, a little bit different content, something to fill up those lonely, boring weekends where there's just no Formula One happening.
Yeah, the problem at the moment with the telemetry, guys, is that my dingo's on the loose and he's chewed all the important cables at Silverstone. I'm not like the Queen Elizabeth II. I don't have my corgis. My dingo's out there and he's chewed everything. It's messed everybody's telemetry up right now. So, yeah, bad dingo. I'll try to get that sorted as quickly as possible. But for now, we'll try to keep you as entertained as possible because there's not a lot of action really on track anyway. So even while Bad Dingo's been Bad Dingo, I still don't have the names at the moment that we mentioned there from the sheep. Remember the unfortunate sheep that was a victim for, well, what would be a bunch of blokes that got together and created this first racing event. It ends up into being a gladiator, one of the best racing events of all times in Formula One. And if you don't know Silverstone, you don't know Formula One.
Oh, I don't know. I just had the great idea of Sharon the sheep.
Good morning, gents. Actually, I want to know, any of you guys at the moment, this is another thing we do, isn't it, Ferral? We love to ask where you guys are in this planet Earth. What part of the world? Some people say morning, afternoon, evening. Yes. Where are you? That's the usual shout out that we do. So please just let us know. And on top of it, I'm interested to see. Now I'm losing my memory right now. I'm going to keep flying my words as best as possible. Free practice 1, 38 minutes remaining of the session. I've completely lost my phrase of mind right now. So you fill in the void, mate. I'll think about it in a second.
Well, we got the usual suspects here. We got a new one. I didn't read that before with Alex being from Iceland. Beautiful country.
Absolutely.
Definitely want to go there again.
You been there?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's like, Europe is small.
Yeah, but
You
you still
can
got to
be
fly.
pretty much anywhere quite quickly. But I think we got a record with the most interesting place to live. We got the companion cube live here from Mars.
Dude, we got Kiwis everywhere. New Zealand, New Zealand, New Zealand. I feel like I'm in like a Lord of the Rings movie, but no. I tell you what, New Zealand, I've been to it multiple times. Beautiful. Everybody asked me like, "Oh, I want to go to Australia one day." I'm like, "Yes, go to Australia one day, but go to New Zealand while you're there because it's amazing." Thank you very much for tuning in, guys.
Yeah, we also got a time from Magnussen, meanwhile, putting it in fourth with a 1 minute 48.1. So, yeah, slowly, times are coming in. Bottas and Joe taking those juicy third and fourth positions. Still 3 seconds behind the Ferrari, so
Juicy 142, mate. That's like me in a pace car, perhaps at the moment, because it's so gingerly on those times. And out there, happy birthday, Daniel Ricciardo. They're sharp, of course. Here in Racing Statistics, we know that one. You guys, anybody from the United Kingdom, if you guys are close to this track right now here in Silverstone, tell us about the weather. We'd like your weather report rather than Will, that's just sitting there in the pit lane looking up at the clouds, pointing at the clouds. I want to hear from you guys what the weather is. We had that, didn't we, mate? Remember that in Canada? We had a few people, a few of the audience members that were close to the track and gave us good weather forecasts.
yeah, I think you stirred something up in chat there. As Chrissy is coming in with that, Kiwi Land is 1,000% better than Aussie. So
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to deny that one, my friend. I love it. It's a beautiful country.
That's a war you started. I'm gonna
fine.
stay out of that.
I had no problems. If you've been in New Zealand, you will never deny that that question or answer. Anyway, every country in the world is beautiful, depending on where you go, who you hang with, and who you party with. Even Silverstone right now in these miserable conditions still would be a fun place to be if you got to watch some Formula One practice session.
And it's kind of interesting. I mean, we see some blue patches in the sky meanwhile, but the teams are still going out on inters, even though they're
Yeah, people are asking at the moment what's happening with Lewis Hamilton. He's just come out and track right now on the intermediate tires. So we'll see what Sir Lewis, by the way, don't you guys calling him Hamilton without the Sir? He's even got a street named after him. Let's see what the man can do. The man that's actually pretty much owned Silverstone and should own Silverstone. Bit of spray at the track right now, coming out of the back of the Merc. But if anybody can do it, Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Just there around turn 6 through 8, there's just a lot of water still on the track, but the rest seems pretty much dry.
A lot of good evenings from the UK. How's the weather in the UK in different parts? George Russell sitting in his car right now, looking at the screens, probably wondering what Mr. Hamilton could do. I'll tell you what, George Russell, well, both of the British drivers in the German manufacturer there for the Silver Arrow, will be trying to outgun each other, won't they, here at home in Silverstone? That'll be the key. But I'd always got to keep out there for Sebastian Vettel. He's been always brilliant. Yeah, and denying the British drivers a victory in Silverstone, as the British drivers generally deny the German drivers a victory in Germany. So we'll see what's going to happen. But at the moment, Ferrari's looking pretty pacey. But then again, now Lewis is on Lewis territory. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, curious if he can keep his win streak here up, as he ruined his. I'm sorry. as he seemed to have been ruining his win streaks on every other track.
What's he on? 6th gear, 7th gear through. Back at Max Verstappen. I'm just trying to get an idea of the pace speed because I'm used to esports. It looks so slow, mate. But when you're doing 2 or 3 Gs through a corner of Becken's Chapel, it ain't slow. 200, 300, 250, 260, 270 down the is that the that's a hanger straight braking at the 50.
Yeah, and
Down
now he
fourth gear.
comes into that section that is just still very wet, or at least was in the lap before.
Those clouds look nasty, my friend. Really nasty, but it's not raining. It's just a lot of water on track. On
Yeah, the thing
intermediates,
is, the clouds really look nasty, but just before the clouds, you have seen right next to it, there is a lot of sun. So depending on which direction we get the wind from,
yeah, welcome to the United Kingdom, my friend. Typical,
yeah,
typical a day of racing in this weather. At least it's cooled down because I don't know how many people have complained to me in the last couple of weeks about how hot it is in their bedrooms, in their houses, in their apartments in the United Kingdom. Going, it's hot, Biggles. It's hot. I'm like, mate, I've been to Australia, but yeah, no air conditioners generally for most people in the United Kingdom. So yeah, open the windows and put the fan on.
yeah, but I really wonder now that the track is drying up and we are pretty much exactly halfway through the session. We haven't even seen half the cars put in a lap time yet. It is still just 8 cars being out there, 8 times put on the board. None
Most
of them
drivers,
really
yeah.
good or impressive.
Esteban Ocon just gave us a little wave from. They're sitting in their cars. Some drivers have helmets on, some drivers don't, but they're generally in their cars ready for something if they do go out. And another thing as well, I wanted to say, and I'm losing my memory again. Kevin's in the car right now. They're zooming in on Kev. He's got his helmet up there, seeing their house going, I didn't your door at all, Gunter. I repaired your door. It's not broken. He's not broken. He's back in the car. A few drivers say a couple of cars out on the track at the moment. The track is looking a little dry and wet in some places. We're seeing some spray. In fact, drivers are actually trying to find the water, aren't they, at the moment on the inters?
Yeah, just to cool them down, as the majority of the track is dry. So they really just look out for those water patches to keep the tires in a good operating window and keep them nice and cool, which yeah, it is hanger straight up until well around turn 8. That's
Oh,
where
and there's a lot of spray around the final couple of corners.
that's
Yeah.
not the final, that's the beginning of sector 2.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of there's a lot of spray on some parts of the track, guys. And then other parts it looks like, you're in the middle of an outback Australian desert. So that's really surprising. Drivers are sitting in the car. Charles Leclerc right there sitting in his car looking at the screen there, contemplating whether his team's going to allow him out or not. Sitting there going, Ferrari needs something at the moment too, don't they? Because, Charles Leclerc obviously running third in the championship and Ferrari second in the championship. Can't let Red Bull to get too many more points at this crucial stage of the championship.
I don't know, but thank you, Jose, for those $9.99, even though you seem to have still have issues with the stream. I hope that kind of goes better, as I don't have any issues on my playback.
Slap the refresh button, guys. Just hit the refresh button sometimes.
Yeah, that has been tried. That problem seems to be there for like 15 minutes in the meantime, so
fashion meets function from the AlphaTauris. And by the way, speaking of fashion, I think Lando Norris is fashioning his new fashion brand as well this weekend. Some of the and we're watching Pierre Gasly, and now Pierre Gasly's really just a new little bubble, isn't he, in the mix of the Formula One Championship, because he can't be progressed to Red Bull in the major team per se. Yet, he's there, he's signed, they want him, they want to keep him. What do you do if you're Pierre Gasly? Like, you can't go to Red Bull right now because they've secured both those drivers for a few more years of contracts. Pierre Gasly's been on fire, the AlphaTauri. But do you switch to another team? What team? Can you go to another team? Silly season is not upon us yet for Formula One, but Daniel Ricciardo's obviously in the mix there. His performance not being there. I'm Australian. I love Daniel Ricciardo, but it is what it is. It's all over the place, mate. It really is.
Yeah, no, I don't think Gasly really has to worry about the seat. I think he will. I think he already re-signed a contract with AlphaTauri for 2023, so that's good. So we won't.
It's probably not a bad idea.
won't see him leave.
Remember Sebastian Vettel doing a pretty damn good job in the AlphaTauris before he was progressed to the. Well, actually, a replay right now of the airflow analysis of the Red Bull on the wet conditions and the inters, and not a lot of action on track at the moment, guys, because I don't think the teams even know what's going on. They're probably waiting for dry conditions more in this track. We're what, 27 minutes left still in this practice session.
Yeah, it is just like calm down in chat. We do have the timesheets up. It's just 9 times. Nobody else has said anything yet, and the track is
because they're racing
empty.
statistics, mate. They expect everything, but yeah, guys, trust me, we'll work.
Yeah, the thing is, you have everything. They're just.
I don't have it myself, guys. I don't have anything. I'm just looking at some pictures and seeing what you guys are seeing. So we'll work with it. Trust me, there's not a lot of action on track right now. It's wet. Cars are going around. Banker
Well,
laps.
if I look at the track map, there is no action, no car out there. All we see is replays, some airflow analysis, which is
So
kind
you're
of
not missing anything. You're not missing anything, guys. Trust me, you're not missing anything. Don't worry.
yeah,
We'll get it fixed.
just nothing happening. So in the meantime,
So the Ferraris set an early time quickly. What did you think about the pace there from Carlos? Carlos is now leading it. Bottas P2, Charles Leclerc P3, and Michael Schumacher. So Mick Schumacher, I keep saying it wrong, in P4, but early times. But that's not too bad considering the track was wet. Do you think these guys are going to start heading out soon? Because there's no rain falling. They're just all sitting back at the moment. They're talking to Jeff, talking to the engineers, wondering what's going to happen. What do you have for breakfast? Do you like pineapple in your pizza? Do you have one cup or 2 cups of sugars in your tea? I don't know. That's all we can explain at the moment because that's all is what is happening.
Yeah. Do you wipe front to back to front?
Is Brands Hatch better than Silverstone? Those are the questions that could be asked. But yeah, all we can do, guys, is cast on what we can see, and there's not a lot happening.
Would Gary the Groundhog beat Shauna the Sheep in a 1v1 fight without any preparation time?
Yeah. Good question. I like that. We still need a better name for sheep. If you guys are just tuning in now, it goes back to the history there of the Silverstone when the guys that originally got together is, we're going to have a couple of drinks and have a party and we'll drive around a track. And then one of them, unfortunately, ran over a sheep and it became the Mutton GP. So we need a nice, cool name in honor for that sheep that then became the, what would you call it? The milestone, the one, not Gary the Groundhog, but where we did see it. Yeah. I don't want to see a tradition of animals being run over by cars to make a racing event, do you?
Well, but I want to see a tradition of marshals with bucket and snow shovels chasing behind wildlife. That should
let's see a tradition of our Ferrari team engineer as well too. Where's his hair flapping? That's the indication on the wind speed, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's the indication on wind speed and wind strength.
Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. We can, I love doing trivia with you guys because, man, I'll tell you what, these are the walking Wikipedia.
I like the Interceptor answer there with a speed sheep.
Oh, that's creative. I like it. Come on, guys, let's pick it up a little bit. The Gary the Groundhog, the amount of names that we had last time. That one, yeah. Gary's okay, by the way. He sends his best wishes to everybody.
Yeah, I kind of dread to read the answer there of Daniel, as it is quite dark, but it made me laugh. It is Squashy the sheep.
Oh, we're now watching Bernardo and his hair's not flapping, but we're watching his these clouds are looking nasty. It actually feels like I'm going outside here in Panama. It could literally be a Belgium thunderstorm in 5 seconds, or it could be like the sun peers through the clouds and we're all racing again. I don't know. The teams
Yeah.
that don't know, they have no idea. But if any of you guys are near Silverstone right now in the United Kingdom, please give us some feedback. Go outside, tell us how it feels out in the weather.
Yeah, I think we got some answers there with the speed sheep, Sally sheep,
Oh,
just Fluffy, Squashy the sheep.
that's going
I
to be
think
one for our producer, isn't it? Racing Stats. You're going to have to throw
absolutely.
that one up, mate. You have to get votes coming on that one. Drivers are out of the car. Lewis Hamilton's out of the car on the pit wall, waving to
Yeah,
the
just waiting for
fans. Good
people.
on
No
him.
time put in, so I guess he won't get back into the car in this
Yeah,
session.
interesting. Interviews at the moment in turns, Maggots, and Beckett's with some of the marshals. Lewis is out there waving to his fans. If you are waving to Lewis right now, say hello, Lewis from Racing Statistics, Biggles, and Ferral.
Yeah, but with that weather, with that clouds, it looks like anything can happen now. Like there is big, dark rain clouds, but just a few meters further away, it is just bright blue sky and sunshine. So
I'm honestly surprised why nobody's out there doing any laps. I mean, what do you got to lose? I mean, it's not wet on the track. It's not raining. It's overcast. It's gloomy. But why aren't you doing practice laps? This is crucial practice time. Why aren't any of the teams? Why aren't Williams out there? Why aren't Haas out there? Why don't you just put some banker laps in? I don't understand. It's also perfect advertising, mate. I don't know about you guys who work in the advertising industry. Your car's going to be the only one on track, aka all the cameras are on you, aka advertising.
yeah, we have interesting. John only lives 20 miles from Silverstone, and he had no rain all day.
Oh, so that's what I wanted to hear from you guys close to the track. Okay, no, right. How's the clouds up there at the moment, John? Like, go outside. Is it cloudy? Is it because there's looking nasty clouds above Silverstone at the moment, but it's not raining. I want your perspective. I'll buy you a Foster's if you're of legal age, or Foster's 0.00 if you're not. Matter. It's not about drinking. It's about having fun. Believe it or not, it's so non-action packed at the moment that they're actually interviewing. Is this the first time I've ever seen them interview a marshal sitting in a corner? I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Seems like it.
The marshal gets all the screen time. I love it. He's like, when's the last time he had to pick up a car from Maggots and Backers and Chapel? It's like, oh, back in 1962, I had to pick up a few of those cars. But yeah, but just to give you an update, guys, no cars on track. Nothing's happening at the moment. The clouds are looking pretty deep and dark and messy, but no rain. Toto Wolff still has his headphones on. He's not smashing them. Christian Horner's foot is not tapping. And that's about the action you have. And Lewis Hamilton's out of his car at the moment. Lewis Hamilton does not have his nose ring in. That was a crucial thing that was mentioned, wasn't it?
Yeah,
He had to remove that.
no jewelry on him. As I said to you before, I think it is good they are enforcing this rule. I just think it's a stupid rule.
And George Russell's looking at it right now. They're having a little bit of fun between each other. But look, George Russell's actually looking at. Look, I don't know. I like to describe these things, but Lewis, I think George is like looking up a little bit more like, I got you so far, my friend, in the series. You can see that on the graphics right now. He is ahead. First time, obviously, driving full time in this car, and we all know what happened last season, didn't it? When he stepped into the boots of Lewis Hamilton, and pretty much drove that race to perfection. Apart from what happened in the pit lane, fumbling, and proving that a man can definitely drive a Mercedes, and that man's third in the championship. So yeah, Lewis Hamilton might be smiling, but he's also going to be worried that, hey, young guns in town, George Russell. And, George Russell, if he had an opportunity to take his shirt off right now, wouldn't he? And post that on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah, probably. But it is quite weird that we haven't really seen any of the Alpines or Williams out there putting in laps, as they were named to be some of the teams bringing major upgrades here.
Why is nobody
So
on track? I'm seeing helicopters.
yeah,
I
but
don't
they're not
understand,
flying.
guys. Get out on track and give us some damn entertainment. Do you want me to jump down from the casting box and run across? I'll do 100. Let me do a lap in Silverstone as fast as I
Yeah,
can on foot.
I'll give you a 6-pack if you get into Tsunoda's car.
I'd do any car. Just I want to see a car on track, guys. Apologies, we are still having issues with the telemetry, but you're not missing anything anyway, because Fernando Alonso at the moment is clapping his hands, sitting in the car. What is Fernando? Is he singing like some sort of Spanish? I don't know. It's good to see Fernando Alonso. He's having fun. No racing helmet on, sitting in his cockpit in his car, looking and giving us a little bit of a wink there. Looking at some audience members that are now looking at their phones because they're not entertained by anything on track, and I can't blame them. Probably looking at Twitter chat. Oh, I do see rain. Do you see rain?
Yeah, that is a lot of rain.
Wow, you're right. Yeah, that may be the reason why they're not going up. But okay, get some testing in. F1 Paddock Club. If you guys ever get an opportunity to go to that, go to it. It's about 4K in change if you have that in your pocket. Mind you, it's not very entertaining. I've been there before in the Australian GP. They're looking at weather radars right now, and it's looking pretty weather radar-ish, per se, for the McLaren engineer on the pit wall. And sitting there waiting and going, I'm getting paid either way, guys. So whether this clock runs down or not, 16 minutes to go.
It is very boring, really. I mean, the clock, yeah, we reached 16 minutes to go. No
So,
one on.
a bit
nothing
more.
happening.
So, whilst we're in a little bit of a boring moment, guys, we're going to keep you entertained. And thank you very much for tuning in. I know I appreciate everybody here at Racing Statistics because we can't show anything. We know the graphics aren't working, but trust me, it doesn't matter because nothing's happening.
Biggles, do you think
Yes.
you can take this for 2 or 3 minutes by yourself?
Of course I can. Yeah, no problems,
Well,
mate.
because I will go and research on what upgrades teams have been bringing here.
Oh, he's going to jump down to the garage right now. Good on you, mate. Ferral, get down there and find out what's happening. Grab those engineers by the scuff of the neck and find out. Anyway, I'm going to engage you guys as my co-casters here this evening. Now, we've got a little bit of trivia then, I would have to say, perhaps. Now, I was looking at some engineering. Okay, safety cars, guys. So, who was the safety car driver? How long has the safety car driver been driving the safety car for? And what was the first year that the safety car was introduced into F1? There you go. Come on, first one gets it. Don't keep me waiting. I know you guys are quicker than this. Thank you very much, Jose, as well. Bringing the energy, my friend. But Jose knows this. I know Jose. Bernard, yes, Echo, what year was it? Come on, guys, I'm asking multiple questions. I don't know who it exactly was. King says, he has a question for the chat. While we wait, who do you think is under more pressure? I have to scroll up for that one, mate. My apologies. Let's have a look at that one. Pressure of the week. Would it be Carlos Sainz or will it be Lewis? Good question. Good question. You guys answer that one too, because King has donated a lot to this channel and need to answer King's question. Going back to the safety car thing, 2000, 2001, guys, make up your mind. What year? Come on. It's one or the other. You can't have two. 1980 first safety car. I don't think that was correct, my friend. Carlos Sainz is the pick up there. Your answer there, King. So far. By the way, guys, I have even more of a trickier question. Here you go. I got a lot of trivia. Who was a driver? You got. I want to see the first. You can Google it if you want, but I want to see how quick you are. Who was the driver? A British driver from the United Kingdom that was in a helicopter crash. Unfortunately, some people had lost their lives. A day before the racing event, then went and raced and then got a podium. Who was that driver? I'll give you an error if you want, but I want you guys to. I know you guys in racing statistics are
It's
right on
okay.
top of
They
it.
they will know. They will absolutely know. So I have been back. Unfortunately, Toto didn't want to make any comments on the upgrades. He just said,
David
"I will
qualified,
have
got it.
to."
There it is. Sorry, Goodwin got it. Bang on the money. I was waiting for
Nice,
it. Good call. Yep, he got a
very
broken
nice.
rib or something and still finished the race on a podium. There you go. I love it. You
Yeah.
guys are sharp.
So Toto didn't want to tell me anything, and unfortunately, my French is terrible, so I didn't quite get what the Alpine's upgrades were. But I had a quick chat with the Ferrari engineers, and they told me that
Yeah.
they are sporting a new rear wing here.
Really?
Yes, which they very much hope to get more control of the bouncing. And we have Hamilton out on track.
Yeah,
Finally,
finally
something's
somebody's on
happening
track.
here.
Did they have the Benito hairstyle attached to the back of that Ferrari rear wing?
Yes, they actually just went there with a shaver and glued those hairs back onto that wing, as this gives a way better indication of the airflow than any whiz flow ever could. So yeah, there we have the outlap of Hamilton. Let's see how he does. On the Inter, still a lot of spray in that southern part of the track.
So, guys out there
Um,
in the chat, thank you very much for tuning in at the moment. Well, Will Buxton is sitting there in the pit lane talking about whatever it is in Aston Martin, but you got us up in the casting box there, us being Biggles and us being Ferral. And mind you, guys, if you ever do watch the Formula One streams or whatever, who is your favorite Formula One caster? Maybe of all time, maybe of current time, but please let us know in the chat. We don't ask that one very often, so throw those names out there if you can. Toto Wolff sitting in the pit lane garage right now looking at his Mercedes driver out on track of Lewis Hamilton, of course. His headphones are safe, so I can guarantee you that right now. He's not throwing them around just yet. Just yet.
yeah, so Hamilton passed the pit lane. Last chicane there, last corner, and we will see a new time being set. And I've heard the startup of another engine down in the pit lane. So I guess
Yeah, you got
someone.
your headphones on? I felt it. I felt it. Lewis Hamilton's out on track at the moment. He's got 20 seconds. Let's have a look at 32 seconds for the first sector from Carlos Sainz. Let's see if Lewis can do the Lewis magic. Sir Lewis, of course. Can't be calling just Lewis. A little bit of spray still on track on some of the straights. Not in the corners, but no spray in the corners, really. He's faster. He's
400
faster.
up on Sainz, so this might be something.
Visuals will be fixed, guys, in a minute as best that we can. My dingo ate the cable, so I do apologize about that. Well, my dingo is in under FIA investigation, so you might get a 5-second penalty. We'll see. Anyway, Lewis is fast.
Yeah, out there going for it. I think I know why Toto didn't want to tell me about the upgrades he brought.
Asking one with Jenna cast again. I don't know. She was a special guest. I mean, it's up to her.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we still have her in our group, asking her if she will be available, but with being from the Philippines, time zones, and of course her whole casting career apart from this
Yeah,
channel.
she's busy. She's actually casting a Crofty right now at the moment. So she's like, yeah, you guys aren't. Okay, no, we'll see. Anyway, well, best of wishes. Maybe, obviously, she'll be back if we can. What do you mean, guys? Say don't hype up Hamilton. Well, why not? But his middle sector wasn't the best. And that'll be a 6-second and change.
Yeah, no,
slower.
he bailed out of that hard.
Guys, you keep asking about the visualization. We're trying to fix it. I told you my dingo ate the cable. If you want to get out there and try to hunt my little puppy dog down, stop him from chewing the cable, you're welcome to. I tried. My doggy don't listen to me. We'll get it fixed as soon as possible. Couple of drivers, and there is actually Lando Norris. We're everyone's sitting on track at the moment, haven't we? He's sitting in the car right now. Pretty cool, calm and collected. I'm surprised he's not on Twitch streaming. But there it is. Those clouds are nasty, mate. Still pretty nasty.
Yeah,
no,
but you see on the onboard, the corner he turns, the sky is just ever changing like a little light show.
it's called the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's like that. Lewis Hamilton down the Lewis Hamilton straight. Oh, that must feel good to say that, wouldn't it? I wonder if Lewis Hamilton actually thinks about that every time he goes down there. He obviously is going to definitely remember the Copse corner, isn't he? Him and Red Bull, Max Verstappen, they had a few little moments on that one. Going through Beckett's, Maggots, and Chapel coming up soon. Obviously, we'll hang down the hanger straight.
There we
He's
go.
pretty much one of the only ones on the track at the moment, too.
Bottas joined him out on track, so both still on the intermediate, but we will see what they can do with that.
Guys, don't worry about it. We'll give you more information. Even the F1 stream doesn't tell you what tires are on, so we'll give you more information about it. Straight in the pit lane.
Hamilton back straight into the pits. So
what are they not happy about? This is interesting. I want to ask you this because you're an engineer. You know how to build race cars. What they get out there and they do like a little bit of a test banker lap and then they abandon it. Why are they doing that? And what is the reason?
That is like asking a doctor on what could go wrong with your health. Like, is it the tires? Were they just not happy with that? They put on softs now, sending him back out. So it seems like he was just
dry tires. Okay,
Yeah.
that could be the answer to that question. Who else is on dries? Looks like mediums maybe for somebody else. Well, you got the information up, mate? Because I'm as broken as everybody else is at the moment looking at telemetry.
Damn. Well, what I can tell you is that Sainz, Bottas, and Leclerc are currently out on track, all on the intermediate, while Hamilton now joined them on a soft tire. The telemetry doesn't tell you this now, but if
Ooh.
you look out the commentary window, you can see their pit stops.
They
So-
can't look at the telemetry window, mate. It's you and me. It's dry. It's looking like you could go out and get a suntan right now. That's how dry it's like how the sun is peeking through the clouds. However, when they go through certain straights and corners, there's a bunch of spray. Look, it feels like
Yeah,
you're
so
in
now
one
it's
of those
getting
roller coaster
interesting.
rides.
Hamilton approaching the wettest part of the track so far. So interesting to see how he gets through there while they're showing us the Ferrari.
Yeah, F1 Media
what I
Liberty
want
Group,
to
man. They're not
see.
very good at cameras, trust me. Don't worry about that one. We'll try to bring in as much sense. They're going to show you a couple of family members back in the garage as well. Too. And they showed you one of the family members looking at his watch going, when is this going to finish? Well, mate, you're not into Formula One. Get out of the garage. Give it to some of us here in racing.
Yeah,
Statistics that
absolutely.
want to be enjoying F1, you celebrities.
Yeah, it looks like Hamilton got through quite well. No spins, maybe some twitching. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But it looks bad on the timing. Really does look bad. The dry parts, he is doing amazingly, but
They're
whatever
asking who's first on the
they're-
timing tables at the moment, mate. It hasn't changed too much, but you want to relay the top 5 for everybody, please.
Yeah, it is. It is still Sainz there, being on top.
We're looking at pictures of Will in a pit lane. That's how not entertaining this is right now. But we'll keep it entertaining for you. On the top of the timesheet right now is Carlos. So the Ferrari's leading this one. The times are not very respected, but I'll just tell you that. Carl is leading, but Bottas stuck in the P2 position at the moment. Not very much laps being there. We're looking at the other Ferrari
Well, he's
driver.
getting onto the start-finish straight in a minute, and his timings are looking quite good, while Hamilton, Bottas
We're
goes
looking at
fastest
Will
now.
talking to pit lane guys. It's pointless. Bottas fastest on the top of the timesheet. The old Botster. He's like, okay, remember me, guys, in Mercs? Remember me?
But we also have
Hamilton.
Hamilton put in an all-purple sector 1, but going very, very slow through that wet sector 2 on his soft tires. But now it seems like we got some action. Ricciardo, Gasly, Norris, Verstappen, Stroll, Tsunoda, Vettel, all are going out. All of them on soft tires. So last 4 minutes of this session, they are looking like there's going to be something going on.
Where's Vettel? Where's anybody at the moment? Because they're going to go out. Because the track is good and pacey. Sir Lewis Hamilton. He's got the Queen Elizabeth here going, oh, massive mistake. Lewis has lost a lot of time. He's 4.5 seconds of change down the road middle sector. He set a purple first sector.
This is just the wet part of the middle sector. Like me looking at the telemetry at the sector 1, all purple, sector 2, first 2/3 all yellow, then a little bit better personal bests, and now sector 3 again all purple, putting him into 5th. So timings.
It's traffic, and we're actually, for the first time ever, guys, I've never seen this before. Lando Norris foot cam. Just somehow slammed a cam behind his pedals. Yeah. I've never seen that before ever in my life. Ever. I mean, I barely even know it was his pedal cam, but there it is. I mean, it's great to see that, but I'm not quite sure it's really that irrelevant. But anyway, Lando Norris is out on track. A lot of drivers are out on track.
The idea of a foot cam, but that is only interesting if with the overhead driver cam. So I
feel like I'm taking a shoey, isn't it, when I'm watching it?
Yeah, it's just like basically Lando Norris's right foot coming closer and further away from you. That's
Well, he's on track at the moment, mate. He's going through the loop. He's going through the tight, twisty section in the middle part here of the Silverstone track. Been around the longest of all Formula One calendar. Lando Norris, of course, another local hero here from the United Kingdom. We'll see what he can do at the moment.
Yeah. Jose, right on the head there. Foot cam for all those with a little bit of foot fetish.
Yeah, it's not. If you want hot tub streams, go to Twitch. Yeah. If you want foot cam streams, stick of YouTube. There
Absolutely. But now they implemented it quite well, like into the Halo, where you see the rear view cam or the G-force for everything applied.
I like that. I didn't even know that existed. That's
the footwork there. It is just
twitchy coming out of Copse. Yeah. Sorry, guys. We're looking at Halo Cam at the moment as the no. I don't
and we got a yellow flag in sector 2.
1 minute and change to go for this free practice session. Bottas leading from Hamilton. Hamilton got the P2. They're leading the Ferraris.
Stroll is off.
Yeah,
Stroll has parked the car. Yeah, beached it, banked it.
Doesn't look like damage. Just
in turn 9.
No damage.
Doesn't look like there's too much damage. Visually,
it's a red flag, and I would say that's it for the session. That's a red flag.
Yeah, probably. 50 seconds to go. Red flag. Don't really see the necessity of a red flag because of a beached car, but
it's in a high-speed corner, mate. High-speed corner, and I don't want to risk it right now. Absolutely. Yeah. And Lance Stroll's
on the VSC, VSC or physical safety car last 50 seconds.
So let's give everybody an update of the current standings, which will probably be the standings for the free practice. Once again, free practice, guys, it ain't any indication.
Yeah,
of what
just got the information through. The session will not be resumed.
They won't resume it now. No way you're going to do it for 15 seconds.
Yeah, you get the timings ready. You want to do a quick rundown?
I will. I want to see at the moment Lance Stroll where he went wrong. Oh, that was an early Twitch moment. Was that Copse in the runoff area? Kept it out of the fence. But was that Copse? I think just a little overcorrection on the steering wheel in Copse. Indication that the track is still pretty slippery. The car is okay. Doesn't need any damage apart from his pride and a few little stones.
Well, we don't know about that underbody. They are very crucial in this era.
I'm sure his dad has a good checkbook to pay for that one. To give you an indication, guys, of what the session will be, because we know that the graphics aren't working there correctly at the moment for the telemetry. Bottas is the man that set the fastest time of the free practice one, 1:42.2. Hamilton, about half a second down the road there, setting the Merc in a pretty good time. And remember, these guys have only done about 1 or 2 laps. And Hamilton actually at the moment is just waving to the audience as he's driving around at the moment, bringing the car back home at the end of the session. And good on him, Hamilton, he's a crowd favorite. And I'll get the rest of the leaderboard if you'd like to go through it.
Another nice pun there in chat from Dan Shepard about Stroll, just going for a stroll.
We still need to know what the sheep name is, of course. Traditionally here in Silverstone.
Yeah, we didn't get that poll up.
We had a few good sheep names, but I'm not convinced just yet.
Yeah, the upgrades of Ferrari are being asked. That is a new wing, maybe more. I don't know. All I know about is they brought a new rear wing to their aero package here. So yeah, that was a treacherous FP1. I mean, half the time there were just no cars on tracks, about 4 timings put in. Half the fields didn't even go out onto the track until the last
Yeah,
four.
Lando hasn't even set a time. He's walked out of the car right now, and
Yeah.
he's gone straight to his Twitch, and he's jumped on his computer, and he's going to do a Twitch feed. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
we have Russell, Perez, Ocon, Alonso, Albon, Ricciardo, Gasly, Norris, Latifi, and Verstappen not having put in a time for this
red
session.
flag nappy change. I love it. Back to Dolly Sheep, guys, because I went to that one. Silverstone circuit was first used in motorsports by an ad hoc group of blokes that set their own improv race back in September 1947. Practically almost like now, isn't it, man? Not much traction. One of the moments, Maurice that lived here in Silverstone and was aware of the airfield, and he and 11 other drivers raced over a 2-mile circuit. During one of them, ran over the sheep, and that's the thing. That's why we need the sheep name. That's why we need something, because free practice will be coming soon. Hopefully, we'll give a little bit more indication of time. Not a lot of races, mate. Not everybody's setting lap times here this evening.
Yeah, 2 hours until free practice 2, where we hopefully will see more happening, more action out on track, more laps being put in, more drivers seen. I mean, I don't think I have ever seen a free practice session where just 10 drivers have even put in a time.
Because you've never seen me drive an esports car. I put it in the fence. Practice 1 results. Over there. Hamilton, P2. Valtteri Bottas takes the top of the timesheets. And Carlos Sainz takes P3. We'll go through the rest of the grid in a second. Once again, very early respective times of any of the pace here this evening. We've got Charles Leclerc, P4. We have Mick Schumacher, not back for the house there, P5. We have Zohar, I can never pronounce his name for the Alfa Romeo, the Chinese driver. Kev start P7, Lance Stroll P8, and he put it into the gravel track towards the end there, but no damage. Sonoma, the Japanese driver, P9, and Vettel hit the P10.
Yeah,
And
but
Vettel's time was 16 seconds off the pace, so you can easily indicate that's not competitive times.
yeah, I am aware that this has only been practice 1, but quite honestly, seeing Bottas up there in a P1, that warms my heart a little bit. That is very nice to see. And well, we only had 10 times put in, so everyone who put in a time is top 10 technically, but seeing the horses in the top 10 also just very, very heartwarming here.
Yeah, guys out there, thank you very much for tuning in. It wasn't the most exciting free practice first session, but it is what it is. It's not too bad, I guess, for Bottas to hit the right place at the right time. Bottas's practice sessions that we've been through have been pretty impressive. Guys out there, what are you expecting? A couple hours and change or so to go. We're going to have free practice 2. How's the weather? Where are you in the world? We know everybody's from all over the part of the planet. Do you think Mercs are going to bring this one this evening, guys? Do you think Merc can perform the qualifying? We do hear rumors, obviously, and news from Toto Wolff and the Mercedes team saying they have pretty much fixed that porpoising. Russell doubts Mercedes can take the Copse flat out this year. But we'll see that because we haven't had the perfect dry conditions. And I'm just interested what you guys feel about it. And once again, thank you very much for tuning in. We love you. And I'll tell you, once again, Ferral, these guys are the champs out there. They know F1 trivia. They know F1.
Absolutely. Well, but I think we will keep our breaths here and wait for free practice 2. I will go and do a little read up on the upgrades, find out or try to find out what Alpine and Mercedes and McLaren, I think, were the 4 bringing the big upgrades. Let's see what they brought to the table. Let's see if we get some more information ready for free practice 2, just so we can fill the void in case we have another nothing for half an hour there. Hopefully not, but we will see. So yeah, as always, see you guys in about 2 hours, little less, and always remember, if you're out there, just goes a long way. Help somebody out, and yeah, see you then.